Everybody needs beauty as well as bread, places to pray in and places to play in, where nature may heal and give strength to body and soul. That was written by John Muir. He gives us an idea of understanding the importance of calming the body as well as the mind and allow creativity to lead and guide us in that space, which will give us the strength to do all of the hard parts in life. Adhering to the needs of our mind so that we can have a calm mind. We use our mindset to create the strength that we need to continue on.
Hey there, mamas. Welcome to the Mom Care Coach podcast. And I am your host, VictoriaMatea. I am a certified life and health coach, certified international counselor, and also a homeschooling autism mom and former autism clinic director. I know that you are struggling with holding healthy boundaries around time management, constantly getting less than adequate sleep, and managing deep exhaustion and overwhelm. And you are praying to find a way to have more energy throughout your day. Well, friend, you have come to the right place. In this show, we will talk about how you can guide yourself through a process of self-care strategies that will lead you to the health solutions that you as an autism mom have been searching for, and how providing for your 4 intentional needs, sleep, movement, nutrition, and mindset, can help you avoid burnout. So grab this morning's leftover matcha or pour another cup of your homemade kombucha and pull up a chair, and let's have a chat on how these health solutions can change your life. One more thing. Would you like to know more about the online coaching services and health bundles that I offer? If so, please do not hesitate to reach out. My email is mindfulwellnessforautismmoms@gmail.com. Again, mindfulwellnessforautismmoms@gmail.com. And of course, it's also listed in the show notes. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Now on with our show.
Hello, everyone. It is VictoriaMatea, and I am the Mom Care Coach, and you are listening to the Mom Care Coach podcast. So we are on episode number 11, and today our one big idea is it is easier to turn calm on than to turn stress off. Okay, so if you remember, our 4 intentional needs is mindset, movement, sleep, and nutrition. And in the 4 intentional needs, the need of mindset, it is leading us toward the goal of having a calm mind. So today we're going to talk about some tools that we will use to have a calm mind, and then also how we're actually going to get there. Imagine it's a path, and having the proper mindset is going to automatically get us to having a calm mind. Remember, we talked about the last time how setting up systems is better than setting up routines, because if you have the proper systems in place, then you will automatically have the routines that you need, right? So today we're going to talk about limbic calming, okay? The reason why we want to talk about this is because it is a part of having the proper mindset, which is so important. And mindset is an intentional need because we have to focus on it intentionally. And it's also an anchor. It is what is going to tether us to our goal, because it is an anchor. We're holding on to the proper mindset so that we can have a calm mind, even if the entire world is in chaos. And even if maybe not the entire world, but our world personally When we hold onto our anchors, then it tethers us to the goal that we are sometimes slowly getting towards, sometimes quickly getting towards. Doesn't really matter as long as we're going in that direction and we are having forward movement, then eventually we will catch up and we will have the momentum that we need to get us to where we need to go. Even if it's slow, even if it's fast, it doesn't matter, long as we get there. Okay, so I think it was like 2 weeks ago, we talked about staying hydrated, and we did something that had to do with like this hydration challenge. And I gave you a couple different options that you can use for hydration. We had water, we had teas, we had some different powders we can put in our drinks for energy or to help us after we've done a good workout, or some different herbs that can help us. So on that path, the next pillar that we kind of want to talk about under calm mind, or I'm sorry, under mindset that's leading us to calm mind, we have another calm tool. So the first tool had to do with hydration. The second tool for calmness is a limbic calming. Now, limbic calming, that has to do with getting our physical body involved. We are talking about breathing, breath work, calming taps, calming holds, um, and then also noticing our personal stress signs. So, this is actually going to be a part one because this is kind of a big topic, and we want to really get into the nitty gritty of the science behind some of these things so that when we involve our physical body with the calm holds and the tapping, that you have to understand like where it's coming from and that it actually makes sense. When you're looking at the neurology of what's going on in the body and how it is, the neural pathways and what's going on and what parts of our brain are actually affected. Okay, so our big idea is it's easier to turn calm on than to turn stress off. And the reason for that, it's because I don't know about you, but I've had moments where I'm feeling really, really stressed, and I not just feel it like in my head, but I also feel it like throughout my body. And what happens is maybe like my stomach will start to feel uncomfortable, or like my eyes are like, oh, like what are we gonna do next, or how are we gonna do it, or and even if by the outside a person isn't looking at if they're looking at me, they can't see that I'm feeling really overwhelmed, but in my body, I can feel it. I can feel maybe I'm starting to get some aches and pains, or just not feel well, or just nauseous. I mean, it can be so many different things. But what's really interesting that we find is that it actually starts in our thoughts. Okay, that's why this is really so important to focus on mindset. It starts in our thoughts. Now, I understand that there are circumstances and challenges where that are really, really horrible, and different things can happen in a person's life. And the appropriate response is to feel it in your body and all of that. However, what we're really focusing on in this episode is how we can have a calm mind on a daily basis when normal things are happening. Sometimes, if you have been in survival mode for a really long time, your body can start to feel like something really huge is happening, even though it's not. And you can have the exact same response as if a tiger is chasing you as you're going to the grocery store and your child is having a meltdown. Your body is having these same responses, even though it can feel like in the moment it's a really big deal, because it is. But we need to be able to still be able to keep our calm throughout the entire experience, right? Because there are things that happen on a daily basis that can be really overwhelming. But once we learn the tools on keeping calm and affecting our actual body chemistry and how it is working and getting the signals from our brain that actually this is something we can handle, and then it's going to make you feel better in the long run, because we all know how detrimental stress can be in the body and what it can do, right? So we want to focus on how we can manage those thoughts and what we can do. Like if there is something that we can do in our body to help the response to be different. So I'll give you an example. How about let's talk about being late. Like for me, I really do not like being late. I feel just really uncomfortable. I can start to feel like I'm ashamed or something like that. I just don't like to be late. However, there are countries where it's not that big of a deal. I'm American, I live here in America. And here it is a big deal. If it is a particular meeting that you may be late for, it can affect work, it can affect maybe an interview process, it can affect a particular opportunity that you would have if you were there on time. However, there are countries in this world where it's not that big of a deal. The mindset is, oh, okay, I'm late, so I think I'm going to have to reschedule, or I'm going to do this or that, or I'm going to continue to go about my day. And that's a different mindset than often we have here in America. But the actual idea of being late has to do with the clock. How we perceive it and how it affects us in our bodies has to do with our thoughts. So, because those are two different things, we want to understand how to look at limbic calming and see how that can actually help us with our thoughts, which can thereby help us with how our body is perceiving that situation. So, when it comes to our thoughts, it's really important for us to think about what is exactly causing this stress, okay? Um, when we do that, there's something called our stress brain, meaning this is our thinking brain. This is where we're going to feel that stress. It's a part of our frontal cortex. And a lot of times, you know how a lot of people will say, are you left brain or like right brain? Of course, you have one whole brain, but there's different parts of our brain. And we have the thinking part in a part of our brain. And then we also have another part of our brain. So the frontal cortex is the thinking part of our brain. And then another part of our brain is our limbic. It has to do with our emotions. It has to do with fight or flight. It has to do with survival mode. It has to do with excitement and all of those kinds of things in this brain. So I am putting on my science hat for a moment. I am a certified life and health coach. I'm also a certified international counselor with an emphasis in trauma. So these are things that I am aware of. And then you can also Google any of this information that I share with you because it is interesting. You think about it. Okay, so knowing this, we want to be able to affect our brain so that we can get ourselves in a calm state. So as I mentioned before, we can turn calm on, okay? It's harder to turn stress off. Have you ever had a moment where you're like, okay, I gotta calm myself down. I gotta calm myself down. And you notice it's just not happening. Why is it just not happening? Because we can kind of intercept that and we can turn calm on. There are several ways. One is breath work. And so, as I said, in another, I think a part two, we're going to focus on breath work and I'm going to show you and lead you through some exercises. So if you are listening to this on your podcast, then you may want to hop over to YouTube so that you can actually see me lead you through the exercises. So that's one way. Another way is our olfactory nerve, which actually goes through our nose. Have you ever noticed if you smell certain smells, it can remind you of things that happened in your past? Maybe a particular candle will remind you, like a particular house you grew up in, or like different foods, or will remind you of different experiences you have that actually can help to calm our mind when we use it effectively. And one of the ways that it's easy to use it effectively is through essential oils. Essential oils can affect that because it can help us calm our limbic system down, which is really exciting. Okay, another way is our energy system, and that has to do with our breathwork sessions and also tapping. Okay, tapping can affect us and how it can make us feel with tapping certain parts of our body. like in our forehead or under our eyes, and I'll lead you through a tapping session on another episode. And also our nervous system. Have you ever done any type of imagery work where you close your eyes and you're thinking of different things and the person may say you're going down a particular path, or you are seeing these flowers and you stop to smell these flowers and all of that. So that is imagery work, and it can also affect our limbic system in a positive way as well, which is awesome. And then the last thing that I want to talk about when it talks about what we can do is nature. Nature is really beautiful and it can impact us in really amazing ways. And we are going to talk about in our next part, because this is a short part. This is our part one, and it's pretty short. We're going to talk about the long exhale. I'm going to show you the alternate um, nostril breath. We're going to do some calm holds and calm tapping. And then we're going to be able to notice personal stress warning signs and other signs. Rather, what does that mean? Where do we feel it in our body when we're feeling stressed? Sometimes it can be your chest, it can be your stomach, it can be any of those things. Maybe you will feel a particular way, you will feel a little bit spacey or whatever. When we start to be able to notice that, then we can kind of hedge it off and start at the beginning or catch it in the beginning before we feel it throughout our body and it's just really, really overwhelming. Okay. So this is setting us up so that we can do different things to help our bodies. And we are going to kind of end with one thing. We are wanting to end with how we can use essential oils. So, everybody has different ways of using essential oils. It can be a diffuser that you want to put your oils in, but what is really cool that you can use on a daily basis is something I call a hot towel scrub. So you go to your bathroom, you fill your bathroom up with the hottest water you can stand it in your sink, okay? What I like about this option is something you can do first thing in the morning or in the afternoon, or if you don't want to jump into the shower just yet, you can do a hot towel scrub and you fill it with hottest water if you can have it, and then you put your towel in the really hot water with a drop or two of essential oils, and then you can breathe that in, and it immediately can affect your body. Obviously, you want to find essential oils that you enjoy and that you've already tried out and know that there's no allergic reactions to them. There are all kinds of places to get them. I do have an online health shop, but I do not sell essential oils. I get mine from a variety of places and from individuals that do sell that. So, of course, you want to make sure that your oils are clean as possible and they have third-party validation and all of that kind of thing. But when we take our hot towel and put it in the water that has the oils in it, and we kind of, take it and squeeze it out and breathe it in, it is so, so powerful. Just the act of breathing that in can be just really awesome. And just that one step as well. However, you can take it to another level. You can take the hot towel and start to scrub your body with it, because this is affecting the energy in your body. And it's really helping you're affecting your olfactory gland, a really tricky word, in your nose through the smelling and breathing the scents in. And then you're taking the towel and you're scrubbing your body, and that is affecting your energy body, just moving that around. And what's really great about our skin is it is our largest organ. And within 26 seconds, it can go to all of our organs, like all the other places through our bloodstream, our heart, everything. And that's why in the hospital, sometimes they will use patches to get medicine to people the quickest way, because it is pretty effective. It is very effective, rather, and it is very quick. Okay, so that's one of the things that we can do. We can scrub our body with this hot towel. You can do this for just a minute or two, and it can change your mindset. And you can start to do some of the other things that can be really helpful, like the breathing can be really helpful. And even if you don't have essential oils, you know what I have found? I have found I can even just go into my kitchen and I try to have like organic fresh herbs or organic dried herbs. And one of the things I like is basil and sage. I will take a little bit of sage. I use cast iron and I will burn the sage in my cast iron and allow that to come up. And sage is known to be very, very calming and it also cleanses the air. Another thing, even if you had some basil and put it in your hand, and you did it like this, like you rubbed your hands together really, really quickly and then breathed it in, you would be able to breathe the natural essential oils that is in that plant because that's where essential oils come from. They call it like the blood. I have my fingers doing air quotes if you're on the podcast. They call it the blood of the plant because it acts in the same way as blood does act in our human bodies. And so when you are breathing the essential oil in, it's different than if you were breathing in olive oil or sunflower seed oil or canola oil, because a lot of those vegetable oils are derived from crushing up the seeds. And with an essential oil, it is taking the entire plant. Often it is taken, like with citrus, it's the peels of the citrus fruit, but a lot of others like the lavender, it's taking the actual petals, it's taking the stems, it's taking all of that, and it's mashing all of that up, and you're extracting or it's distilling the the oil from that plant matter. So it is going to react differently. So it's not the same as just breathing in sunflower seed oil that a person may cook with. Although I recommend the best oils to cook with would be more like avocado oil or coconut oil or olive oil. But that's a side note. So when it comes to essential oils, you don't need very much. You just need like even a half of a drop with a really good quality oil or one drop really if you're just putting it in your hands and breathing that in. And of course, diffusers work really awesome for that as well. So now I'm going to stop here because I want part two to kind of go into how you, if you're having a moment where you're feeling really overwhelmed and really stressed, what you can do. So I want to go into more of the breath work because you can do that anytime, anywhere, any place. And you can also do calm holds and tapping pretty much anywhere. And that can help to calm your body and your biochemistry pretty quickly. Okay, so I am going to make another video for part two and another episode. So look forward to that. And I hope that you have a great day. Do not forget, you can sign up for the newsletter and that is free currently. And then you can also go to the Facebook group of Mom Care Coach. And if you are an autism mom and you'd like to have a little bit more support and information, you can do that. You can also contact me individually through my email. And what's really great about that is I can help you with any coaching if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, or if you're looking for any health bundles, I can also help you with that as well. So until next time, I hope that you have a great day and thank you so much for listening to me. Bye.
Thank you so very much for listening in. If you have learned something new today or have been blessed by this show in any way, please share it with a friend. And don't forget to head over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review. And feel free to take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram and I will tag you back. Thank you and be well.